and tell us a little bit about who's coming up next.
Eddie Robison works at Inhance Digital. He is also a personal friend of mine, one of the most amazing artists in the industry. He's been doing great work, like I said. Eddie did his own independent film a while back. It was called PAX, and he's going to be coming up. We're going to talk about all the great work they're doing on Grimm, and they did on the Cape.
Awesome.
And yeah. So we're gonna cover that.
Awesome. Well, I will let you get to it.
Thanks, you, Keith. Thanks a lot, Keith. Eddie, come on up. He has his mic. Eddie Robison, everybody. Very cool. So let's talk about, give everybody your name, your title, what you do at Inhance Digital.
Okay, I'm Eddie Robison. I'm the VFX department supervisor at Inhance Digital, where the company does kind of split 50-50, doing corporate work and television and film visual effects.
Great. And so you mentioned a little earlier, we have a reel that we're going to play right now and let everybody see some of the great work that Inhance has done. So let's check out the reel here. And that's our confidence monitor that you can see. Yeah. Do we have an audio track to that?
I don't believe so. I think I just sent over.
If there's
some
audio,
shots
crank it up. If there's not, we'll just enjoy the visuals. Great. That is awesome.
These are all shots that we did for season 1 of Grimm. The company's been working on, a couple years ago we did The Cape. We've been working on CSI Miami for the last 4 years. We will be doing a new show for ABC called Nashville. And obviously we're now in production for season 2 of Grimm as well.
Oh, great. Yeah, the Grimm work looks awesome. Is everybody watching Grimm? Isn't it cool? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's been a very good show for us. Really fun to work on. Always different things to do.
So can you describe the pipeline over at Inhance? What's the size of your team, and what kind of pipeline do you guys have there?
Well, a little bit of background on Inhance. They moved down here from the Bay Area about 7 years ago. I've been working for them for 5 years. When they brought me on, they were pretty much strictly a 3D Studio Max house. They had one girl working in Lightwave, and because of my background in television and their desire to get into the entertainment side of the business, they brought me on and instantly saw the benefits of having Lightwave in-house. As of right now, I think we're probably about 60-40% in favor of Lightwave artists now. I have a team of 8 guys in the VFX department. We take up 2 floors in a building right on Beverly Boulevard, and we've got a really good thing going over there at Inhance. Want to pump our website, enhancevfx.com. You can check us out.
Absolutely. So what kind of, when you guys do the, like for example on Grimm, what compositing pipeline is there? Are you guys using, After Effects or Nuke, or what's the?
At Inhance, our motto is best tool for the job. In the VFX department, we pretty much exclusively use Fusion for compositing.
Okay.
We do have plenty of seats of After Effects. We have one guy working for us now named John, who's real cool, and he's working in After Effects. We do have a Max artist on the team. We have a guy named Jason Maynard who does Lightwave and Maya.
Absolutely.
The rest of the guys are Fusion and Lightwave exclusively, including myself. And we use it for all kinds of things. We do set extensions. We blow up ships or buildings. We do helicopters. As you can see on what's playing, we do character work now as well.
So on that character that we were looking at, and Fusion as well, is a great integration with Lightwave. We've always had a strong relationship with them, and it supports Lightwave. The 3D tools in Fusion are amazing. It's really unique kind of in the compositing space.
Yeah, I can't say enough about Fusion.
Yeah.
They're great. We love them. We also love New Tech. We love you, Rob. We are beta testers for Lightwave. We love being that part of the program where we see things in their infancy and watch them develop, and we put them through their paces. We do lots of compositing, but we have, we had a new hire at our place. He's a great artist. His name's Kevin Quattro.
Oh, yes.
And he's not a compositor, and he'll tell you that himself, but he can do finished shots straight out of Lightwave. You don't need to composite using Lightwave. You can get a finished look right out of the box.
Another thing that was appealing to me when I first started with using Lightwave was that way that it really has those real-world camera type settings in there. So you could, I'm a photographer, and I've used film cameras and video cameras my whole life, and it just spoke to me in that way because I could do that. I could shoot the plates, you get a camera that really feels like a real camera.
Absolutely.
And you have that camera projection mapping where you can take those plates and add your CG elements on top. And like Eddie said, even composite them right in Lightwave.
You can hold out through an alpha channel right over the top of your CG if you need to do that. You can produce a finished shot right out of Lightwave.
Now, with the one that's the lizard guy, did you animate that one?
I did, yes.
Oh, that's really, really nice. I love that.
Thank you very much.
Very, very cool
Yeah,
shot.
those are really fun. Those
cool.
we generally get a model, an actor in the makeup. We do all the transformation shots when we get that kind of work from them. There are several houses working on Grimm, and I want to make a distinction here that the girl who plays, her character is called Adelaide, and she turns into a witch. That was a shot that another house did that I recreated just to show the client that we could do that kind of work. And in so doing,
looks great.
We got actual shots for characters on the show. We were not a character house.
They didn't see you that way.
No, they didn't see us that way.
And
they
you
saw
proved
us
that.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And ever since then, now we're the only house that actually works on every episode of Grimm. We do, if we're not doing characters, we're doing all kinds of other things. The green screens, or we're doing set extensions, or whatever they come up with. In this case, there's a crow that flies in and lands on this guy's face. So we can do all that. And Lightwave gave us the power to show them that we could do it, gain their confidence, and now we get that kind of work from them.
That is really incredible. It's interesting to hear that you saw an opportunity that was out there, that the clients were going to some other studio, possibly taking more time, a more complex thing, and you guys knew that you could do this work, you could do it better, you could turn it around faster and have a better quality for the client. And even though they didn't see you as that type of a service for them, you proved with Lightwave Fusion, you jumped out there and proved to them, hey guys, look what we can do. And as a result,
you bet.
Yeah.
You bet. Yeah, you can do the what I term as the standard VFX for a TV show, and you can make money for your employers and make a good living doing that. The character work is the harder stuff, but it is the more prestigious stuff, and I'd say it's the most subjective thing for the client as well. So we get the most notes on those shots. They're painful at times, just because of the nature of how subjective they really are. But in the end, you have things for your reel and to give to you guys to put on your reel that are great.
I'm excited about the new, seeing what you think about when you get to play with the new Genoma tools, because that whole modular rigging system and the way that we've integrated actually my own motion capture rig directly as a preset in there, so it works directly with Motion Builder. You don't have to worry about any of your naming conventions. Yep. You remember when you were doing PAX? Yes. I really followed you closely, and all the things you had to do for that rig to rename all those bones and make sure that it was all that's a thing of the past. Yeah, because that preset rig in Lightwave 11.5, any artist who wants to inject motion capture, you use the rig that I was using when I was doing the stuff I was doing. We've refined it even further, and it is part of the Genoma preset system. So that's very cool. And I love, can I just ask you on the lizard guy, the facial animation looks really good. Like, what did you do to get that effect? I mean, were you using GoZ with sculpting, or how more target straight, or?
Well, believe it or not, I mean, the hands on that creature were done using Lightwave in conjunction with ZBrush by my friend and artist Patrick Horn. I did the head on that just using images taken on set from the guy in the makeup. I created displacement maps for those. I use a sort of a ZBrush type pipeline, but without ever actually going into ZBrush.
Never touching ZBrush. Wow.
And you can make ZBrush type results with Lightwave without having to actually do that. Now with the GoZ support, you have both.
So now you're a prisoner, because when in the future I'm going to have you come over and you're going to come to the studio. We're going to do a tutorial or something and let people see how you did that, because I want to know. I mean, that was amazing stuff, and I love the fact that you just said the whole ZBrush workflow, you kept it all in Lightwave and did that whole amazing head on that character.
Absolutely.
I'm sure everybody watching wants to know what your secret is.
Taking UV mapping the way you do a color map on a head like that, if you can paint a displacement map from your color map, you can apply that in the very same way you apply a ZBrush displacement map, and subpixel displace it just the same way you would do a ZBrush. And I got to say, I started doing this in '97. I worked for Pixel Magic. I worked for Digital Muse, John Gross over there. I want to say hi to John and Fred and Sean, all those guys at Eden. They're watching. Encore, where we met.
I had the seat, and then I left, and then you kept my seat warm after. Yeah,
I did. I slid right in there.
Yep.
And I've been hearing from the naysayers for a very long time how Lightwave can't keep up or Lightwave's going to go away. And 17 years later, I'm acquiring work for my studio by using Lightwave still. It ain't going anywhere. It's doing just fine.
Well, from all the panels I've been on and the conversations in the industry, everybody is saying the budgets and schedules are getting harder.
Yes.
And for me, it seems ridiculous to go to a more complex, expensive pipeline in that kind of a climate. You would want to go to something that has a 20-year proven track record of doing this kind of work with artists of 1 and 2 people churning out that with the renderer built in. It's like a no-brainer for me, but you know.
Well, with the advent of this whole rebate thing where studios are moving out of state and work is going to Canada and elsewhere, it's more important than ever to stay competitive in your pricing and in your turnaround and in the quality of your work. You know, we pride ourselves on being able to do all that, stay competitive in the pricing, without having to send it out of state, where the client can still come by, still come over and look over our shoulder or whatever they want.
Right. Well, the other question I wanted to ask you before we wrap up is, do you have any plans to do another short or your own project? Do you have any of that cooking on the back burner?
When I did PAX, it was a different time. You know, there wasn't HD camera phones where you could get your plates real quick. There wasn't really fast computers like there were now. This was just before everything just really tipped over the edge in terms of technology, and it was fine for what it was. I don't want to say that this was any groundbreaking thing. You've been showing some things that people have been doing lately here that are unbelievable. Having said all that, I was also not running a department then. I was a younger man. I was living for 3D. It is not my life anymore. It's what I do for a living. I'm pretty happy to keep it at work and do good for my company. And well, never say never, but no plans.
You may not know. You may not know this, but the short that you did at that time was inspiring to a lot of people, including myself.
Appreciate
because
that.
I love the fact that you thought of a concept and you made that happen and you did it yourself, and I thought it was impressive.
It was real cool. Yeah. All the merchandising that came from that, the figurine, that was modeled in Lightwave and sent out to a stereolithography place. The figurine was created there, molds were made from that, so you could say that the actual figurine that sold in Hot Topic was made in Lightwave.
Yeah, and you actually created a figure in Lightwave that sold in the store Hot Topic.
Yep.
And again, for anybody who's watching who wants to see that, it's spelled PAX, right?
PAXX.
Yeah, PAXX, okay.
The title was PAX Ill and the Suffering. If you can find it, it might be on YouTube still.
Google it. It's probably out there on YouTube, and you would see something that, you know, was
out there.
Another example of not only a brilliant artist that works in the industry and does a lot of the great work that inspires us, like that great shot I was just looking at of the witch character from Grimm. I love this stuff. I mean, the lizard guy, but also an artist that can perform his own, you know, project. He can come up with an idea and not only create an animation, but create merchandising.
Absolutely.
That was what I was so impressed with that. It was like, God, Eddie got out there and he came up with this concept, and he's got T-shirts and he's got figures, and it was just such a cool concept.
Well, the whole original idea was to just create a comic book using 3D instead of drawing.
Wow.
And I got the merchandising deals from that. You know, the movie was an afterthought, but since it was created in Lightwave, it was pretty easy to just go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to make a short film now, put it in festivals and see what it does, you know.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's good.
Well, you know, I know how busy you guys are. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. We love you guys. We want to be as supportive as we can. If you need anything, you let us know. And thank you for coming. Eddie Robison, please thank him for coming from Inhance Digital.
Hi, Kika.
Check out their website. What was the website address again?
www.enhancevfx.com. Enhance with an I. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Eddie. Cheers.